tell you I'll be short because I can't promise that. But I do have a lot I could say about each of you. There's just been so much happen on this trip. You know, it's hard to encapsulate 10 days and in just a few seconds of comment, you know. I mean, I was looking around the room while each of you testified or said your little piece. I mean, there's something significant, not just like surface level stuff, but I mean, there's something significant I could say that I've seen in each and every one of you on this trip. And maybe I'll get a chance between now and the time we land to do that. But I just, you know, every year I go home changed, and I get privileged to go overseas a lot. You know, I'm very, very blessed. We get invited to preach in some pretty cool places, and so we're overseas, or I'm at least overseas. My wife can always go with me, but usually, sometimes 5 times a year. In fact, I'll be only home for less than a month, and I'll be flying back out again for 13 days. But the Youth on Missions is something like no other trip that I go on, or nothing else that I do, because you know, when I go over by myself, it's more relaxed. My wife, you know, it's just us. We're preaching. We're the guests, you know, and what. But here, you know, seeing you guys changed and the transformations that happen is just, I mean, I'd give anything for it. It's become an addiction, seeing things like Madison come out of her shell. I preached at her church several months ago, and I remember walking the aisles preaching, and she was like, oh God, I need next to me. And I remember like feeling her fear off of her. I mean, you could feel it. She told me later she was scared to death when I was just standing next to her preaching, you know. And then now on this trip, you know, how that's transformed her, and she won't be the same when she goes home. You know, she'll be different. She'll be different. All of you guys. And you guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. This trip has probably been the most problem-free trip I've ever had. And to be honest with you, just confession, I was a little worried because the average age on this trip, staff not included, is like 17.234 years old, according to a little spreadsheet on my computer. So like just over 17 years old, whereas the average age on previous trips about 20 years old. So that's a 3-year jump in average age. I'm like, oh man, there's a lot younger kids going, students going. They're not kids. Man, there's going to be a little more issues. In fact, Kevin and I talked about it beforehand. Talked to the staff on the phone about it. You know, we got to be heads up more. It's a younger crew.